I would like to file I'd like to lodge a complaint.
Against who and for what?
I would like to claim an uneven partnership here.
Against who and for what?
Against you. Against you, sir.
Okay. Well,
week after week after week, we meet up, we sit down, I list off a bunch of pieces of news, you comment on them, I comment back on them, and then we move on to the next piece of news. Not once have you had some piece of big news to offer to me, and I'm feeling like whether you've got something ready or you need to pull something out of your ass, it is time for you to hike up your socks and contribute a little bit. You make this like a give and take instead of just a take.
You want some news?
Sure.
I got some news for you.
All right.
I have a new baby.
Like as in your wife gave birth, or you got tired of waiting and saw one in the line at the grocery store and now someone's missing their child.
I mean, obviously the latter. I'm not going to make my wife give birth. No, yeah, of course.
You're going to make your own baby.
My wife had a baby. We are now outnumbered 3-2.
Hooray!
Yeah.
I don't hang on.
He's a cute little gaffer. He just had his 1 week checkup today, just before we were recording, and he's already surpassed his birth weight, which is really good.
I don't know what these buttons do, but no, that's not the response. No, that's the old trivia thing.
No, try again.
There we go. Which is good because I only had one more, and that seemed
You've got
like not
4
the way to
options. And
I knew what that one was.
was right.
I knew what that one was. No, that's amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations. And so naturally, having had a baby, in the last 7 days, today you're out of the house seeking sanity and you're sitting here recording a podcast with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been able to sneak out a few times, but yeah. I'm at the office recording a podcast today.
Trips to the washroom take a little bit longer now. You don't, you're just kind of taking your time.
Take your phone, lock the door.
I'll be out of the bathroom when I'm out. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So hello and welcome
to the B team of the Movie Men podcast.
Yes. I'm Brady.
This is Carl.
Yeah. The ever-changing intro. And we're here to talk about some news. We're here to talk about all of the news from the last week of movie news. Not all of the news, but some news.
It's new news,
some news
because last week was old news, and this is the new news.
The new news. And next week is the not yet news.
Yeah, the future news.
It was less clever. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So Avatar.
The Last Airbender is a great TV show, and everybody should watch it.
The Way of Water is a film that obviously right now
Avatar.
everybody in the film world has their eyes on Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
How much money will it make? What is it going to do? It's now crossed $2 billion. Actually, as of right now, as of recording, it just passed Infinity War to become the 5th highest grossing film of all time. So,
what was the
going.
last one? What did the last one make?
I mean, it's the highest grossing film of all time. It's like 2.8 or something. It's not gonna touch the first one. It's not gonna touch the first one. It's not gonna touch Endgame.
But it will surpass 2.
It will. It might make it into the 3rd spot, which would mean it passes Titanic. It has about $120 million, $130 million to go before it passes Titanic, which is still a lot, and it may not get there. but it's certainly capable of doing it. So, but here's the thing. This is something Pete and I talked about on a Patreon bonus episode the other day. But it's important and it's worth bringing up here. Shoot. Avatar, The Way of Water is now the 6th film to ever pass the $2 billion mark.
Which is impressive because James Cameron's got 3 or 4 on that list.
Yeah, so just wait. So I'm going to hit you with a couple of statistics.
All right.
It's the 6th film to ever pass the $2 billion mark. Of the 6 films in history that have passed the $2 billion mark, James Cameron made 3 of them. Made half of them.
Including this one?
Including this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive repertoire.
Of the now 5 highest grossing films of all time, James Cameron has made 3 out of the 5.
That's like one of those party brags.
Avatar, The Way of Water is also now in its 6th consecutive week being number 1 at the box office. 6 consecutive weeks. The last time a film was number 1 at the box office for 6 consecutive weeks was 14 years ago.
Let me guess. It was Avatar.
First Avatar. The last time that ever happened before that was Titanic. In the last 25 years, only 3 films have been number 1 at the box office for 6 weeks in a row, and all 3 of them are James Cameron films.
It's definitely like a party brag. Like, you know, you're at the party and everybody's kind of like got a story that one-ups the last person's story. And there's a comedian, I can't remember his name. He's one of my favorite comedians, but which is funny that I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's got a whole bit about one-upping party stories, and he talks about if you've been any of the astronauts that've been to the moon, nobody can top you. He's got a whole bit about like, oh, you got this hot rod car. That's great. I drove a car on the moon.
On the moon.
James Cameron's like can kind of do that. Like, oh, you made a movie. That's great. I've got 3 movies that are the top 6 that have made over $2 million.
Yeah, I've made the most successful movies ever. So just let that sink in. So all this to say, basically, I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot to this aside from the fact that it's bad business. There's very bad business to be in the James Cameron doubting business.
Yeah, don't bet against him for sure.
If James Cameron comes out tomorrow and he says, I want to make a movie about a spoon that goes on an adventure, you bet your ass it's going to be at least moderately successful.
Isn't that what the last Toy Story was about? I didn't see it, but I know it had a spoon in it.
Yeah. You haven't seen it?
No.
I envy you. I wish I were you. That's the only time I've ever felt that way ever. Okay, so moving on.
Yes.
Mandalorian season 3 is right around the corner. You and I are gearing up to do our week-to-week reviewing of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
But in the meantime, the first trailer is dropped.
Mm-hmm. I fulfilled my contractual obligation and watched
the first trailer
in spite of not wanting to.
Yep. Here are my thoughts. My thoughts are quick, and then I'm going to hand it over to you. Man, I have 2 contrasting opinions about The Mandalorian. And this trailer is no different. It looks like season 3 is shaping up to be no different. My first thought, the positive thought, is that The Mandalorian didn't start out, but has become, in my opinion, pretty much the perfect mix of Force, light side of the Force, dark side of the Force, Jedi, but also mixed into the like Western cowboy, space cowboys, renegade aspect of Star Wars.
Yeah, and they definitely have leaned pretty heavily on that last part, kind of giving you that space Western opera.
Yeah. But peppering in, I mean, in this trailer is no different, right? We see a shot with multiple Padawans with lightsabers in this trailer. And that's exciting. And to me, content-wise, it can't be faulted. I still don't think The Mandalorian is the best live-action Star Wars show that we've gotten. I think that's Andor.
Yeah, I think Andor is still a little bit better. I really like Mandalorian, but I'm there with you.
Yeah, but I really like it. The other thing is, one of the things that made The Mandalorian not famous, I mean, the fact that it's Star Wars made it famous, but one of the big things about The Mandalorian was the introduction and the utilization of the, why can't I think of the actual name of what they're called? But the LED screens. That they're instead of green screens.
The way they filmed it.
Yeah. And when that first happened, I've enjoyed the behind the scenes stuff about that every time I've seen it. From a technical standpoint, I find that really fascinating. Cool. I think that it's always, in my opinion, what differentiated it from Andor, because Andor didn't use those. Andor used all practical sets.
Oh, yeah.
The Mandalorian, for whatever reason, always has a very claustrophobic feel to me. It doesn't feel as vast and as real. And not only that, I have always, not every shot, but I would say over 50%, the special effects just feel so subpar to me. Like,
really?
Yeah. And there's so many moments in this, whether it's just like a shot of the ship going through space, or it's like any of the practical stuff. Like, we see Salacious Crumb in this trailer, and I'm like, oh, he's a practical puppet. Like, that looks amazing. I'm so happy with that. But then, like, like Grogu floating in his little Jedi bassinet thing, just and there's so many shots that feel like I'm watching a Star Wars fan film done by someone on YouTube who is incredible with special effects, who knows their ins and outs of Adobe software and whatever else, but still is maybe the best person doing it on YouTube, but is still someone doing it on YouTube, and it's still a fan film, and it's not this like grand scale, actual massive production Star Wars thing. And all throughout this trailer, almost every visual effects scene that I saw, I hated it. I hated it. So I'm still excited. I am excited because of the content, where the story's going and what they're doing. And I'm so... the thing about The Mandalorian is I'm so curious about, like, okay, what... As we progress in The Mandalorian, we get closer and closer and closer to the sequel trilogy era. Like, we're getting closer to the First Order and the Resistance and all of this stuff. And so kind of seeing how that is going to kind of start to come into focus down the line is kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know. The special effects just drive me wild. You saw the trailer. What are your thoughts?
Well, I literally just saw the trailer before we started recording, and I thought it was great. I'd hear what you're saying about the special effects versus practical effects of Andor, and yeah, Andor, I think I don't understand the claustrophobic thing watching it. Like, I don't get that feel. But I would say, like, Andor feels more real than Mandalorian does, for whatever, and probably for that kind of practical effect versus movie magic trickery effects. I won't call it special. Like, I would say that screen, like them video recording with the screen in the background, that 360 screen in the background, isn't really a visual, like not a digital effect, because it's
not. They're capturing
kind of still
it in camera.
It's still practically there, but it's just a TV screen, and it gives it's better than a green screen because the actors see what they're reacting to and where they are, but yeah, like the practical effects and lots of extras in the background and that are actually there. Yeah, like I think it just felt more real.
Right.
And I think that's why Andor just barely ekes out Mandalorian.
I think in Andor and even in Obi-Wan, you see these you see wide shots, extremely wide shots where either your character's going by off in the distance in dunes on a speeder, or just like these really vast landscape shots, which is something you don't really get in Mandalorian, right? They'll show you like a dash cam shot of the guy on the speeder, or they'll show you like it's just all much more close-up shots because
the
they have limited space. They can't
subject.
pull the camera back as far.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I feel claustrophobic.
Okay. I hear you. Yeah. So as far as the trailer looked exciting. Grogu's obviously becoming more proficient with the Force in the last couple shots of the trailer. We get to see a whole bunch of different Mandalorians that are obviously from different clans. And you can tell that by the markings and colors on their armor. And the one thing about these Mandalorian and Book of Fett gets thrown in there too, that I've kind of been missing is kind of deep diving on Mandalorian lore. In Legends, there's some really deep lore about the Mandalorians, like the color, every color that it has a specific meaning, like black is like vengeance, and a Mandalorian paints their armor the color that their current kind of feel is, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, they haven't really dove into that, and that's all Legends stuff, so they don't have to use it.
He's headed to Mandalore though, so
they're heading to Mandalore. We've gotten a little bit of it, like sprinkled into our story, kind of as a subplot through the subplot, like with him talking to his like in season 2 would be a good example where he takes off his helmet. Does he take off his helmet in season 2 or is it season 1?
I don't
know. There's the whole thing about him not taking off his helmet, and it's a big deal, and he ends up doing it, and we end up meeting Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan's talking about, he's part of a different sect of Mandalorians, and we start to find out that Mandalore is this kind of rich, diverse culture, and I think we get quite a bit more of it in the Clone Wars TV show. But
with like
even
the Death Squad,
it's not super deep, and it's all like, even in the books, it's technically subtext, like it's lore world building so it's something you can do easily in a written form that's harder to do on screen, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more there, but yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it looks great.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
It's going to be fun to work through them, whether it ends up being a good season or it's something that we can kind of just pick apart and crap all over. It'll be good.
Yeah, they've got an interesting plot setup, right? Like Din is going back to Mandalore to reclaim his honor. He's in the trailer, we hear him voice over talking about how the Mandalorians are scattered to the winds. So, and he's got the dark saber, so he can technically lead Mandalore and bring everybody together under one banner. So there's a lot of potential for kind of that a unification style storyline that, he's going to reclaim his honor. Once his honor is reclaimed, he's going to then he'll unify Mandalore. potentially. So,
Yeah.
and claim the title of Mandalore, which is the title for the leader, El Presidente, if you will.
Cool.
But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Moving on. I've talked about in the past, I love biopics. Specifically, I really like musical biopics. Like one of my favorite films of all time is Walk the Line. I was very excited for and thoroughly enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody. The Austin Butler's Elvis that came out this past year. I loved that film. I really like the musical biopic.
Did you see the Elton John one? That's the most recent one I've seen. I haven't seen
Rocket Man.
I
didn't, like, sort of. So I put it on. There's like a couple years ago, I put it on, and I put it on with a misunderstanding of what the film was, because it's very, whereas like Walk the Line is like, okay, this is a to be taken seriously, not fantastical story, right? Like this is the story. Same with Elvis, same with Bohemian Rhapsody. Rocket Man is sort of a strangely self-aware, dream sequency, sort of like loose adaptation of it.
It's probably somewhere between Walk the Line and whatever Weird Al Yankovic's biopic's going to be.
Right, exactly, right? And so we put it on, we sat down to watch it. I got about 5 minutes in. I was just in a very specific, like, okay, this is going to be the Elton John story. And sat down, put it on, got 5 minutes in, realized very quickly by the end of the first like musical number that was like dancing out in the street type of thing. And we shut it off. Not because it was like, oh, this is garbage and we're never going to watch this, but it was just like,
we weren't in the mood for it.
This is not what I've geared myself up for, and I'm not in the mood for this. And so we shut it off and watched something else, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it again. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to watch?
My wife and I really enjoyed it.
Brienne's working nights tonight, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And you're never around to play video games with online anymore, so I'm like, well, I'll just watch a movie. You know, you keep having children, and so so maybe I'll watch it tonight. All of that aside, I don't stop bunny trailing. All of that aside, there is a new one coming. One that I, back in the day, thought, I wonder if this will ever happen. And then I thought to myself, no, there's no way they could do this. Like, there's just no way to make this movie. There's just no way to do it. And my opinion of that has changed, and we can get into that. But there is now a Michael Jackson biopic in production. God, I wish I could.
Michael Jackson impersonation.
I've never wished so much that this was a video podcast. So obviously you talk about, okay, so why do a Michael Jackson biopic? Well, because if you're going to have a genre where you're doing biopics of important musical figures, like or dislike Michael Jackson, you can't argue that there are few, not none, but there are few musical figures that are more important from what they did to the industry and for a genre than Michael Jackson. He was huge. He changed
from
the
his
game.
Young years to his later years. Yeah, he's just all over.
Changed the game entirely.
Yeah.
And so, but then obviously you start talking about a Michael Jackson biopic, and a lot of questions start to pop up of, well, how are you going to do how are you going to do this in a tasteful way? Yeah. Because no matter what you do, if you portray him as innocent in the allegations, you're going to piss off a large group of people. If you portray him as creepy and guilty in these allegations, you're going to piss off a large group of people. And so the answer is you just don't reach that point, right? So like, here's the thing. Freddie Mercury died of AIDS. We don't see that in Bohemian Rhapsody. The movie ends with a Live Aid concert, and it's still a bittersweet ending because you know in it that he's been diagnosed with AIDS and that he is very sick. But they don't feel the need to show that. And so I think the way to go about doing a Michael Jackson biopic would be focus on his young, like we don't know what this is going to be. Maybe this takes place just in the 80s. Maybe this is like right around, maybe it's a movie around the release of the Thriller album. Maybe it's, it could be like, there's that Steve Jobs movie where literally the whole film is about that one Apple, not PowerPoint, what do they call it? The Apple, like the TED Talk thing that he would do, where he'd get up and he'd like showcase the new,
his annual Apple presentation for the
products, where he gets up and maybe it's all around. There's that where it's the Steve Jobs one is just about the one where he announces the iPod, right? And so maybe it's that. Maybe this is like all around one concert. Well, maybe it's all whatever. Maybe it's just like the child years. Maybe the movie ends when he's like 18.
You could do it. Just focusing, like in that vein, you just focus on the music. You don't focus on the personal life.
Yeah, but you reach a point where, like, when his appearance starts changing drastically, and do you know what I mean? Like, you can't, even if he did it right up until he dies.
You can nitpick for the story. But
if it goes right up until he dies, and you decide, well, you're not, we don't need to show Neverland Ranch. We don't need to talk about these other things. You'd still need, like, you can't completely avoid his personal life because, all of a sudden you'd have a time jump in the film and his skin color is entirely different. Right. And his nose is not the nose he had. And
let me ask you a question, because you've seen more biopics than I have. Like, how many biopics actually go the full length of a person's life? Like, as far as
very few. I mean, they typically start out, there will be some scenes where they do a couple of establishing scenes. The kid's like 8 or 9, like this is the childhood they had. And then it typically ends at like the height of their career, their biggest crowned amazing moment. Right. And then the screen fades to black and you have text that comes up and goes, they went on to sell X many records and so on and so forth. And they passed away in 2000 and, whatever. And So
in that vein, you just focus on the music, a little bit of the personal to keep it kind of dramatic and interesting. And you end it, like you were saying, at the height of the career on one of their stage performances or something.
Yeah. You end the climax of the film is him debuting the moonwalk for the first time.
Yeah,
or everyone going nuts and whatever, right? But so it's interesting. This is a film. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but I am definitely interested. And when it comes out, if it hits a streaming service or if I have to rent it. I'm definitely going to be curious. It'll be interesting to see what route they take. I don't think there's any way, as interesting as a film as it would be, there's no way to cover that stuff neutrally. There's no way to do it in a way that isn't going to piss off half the world.
Yeah, you either kind of be just these are the facts about what the court case presented and happened? Or you don't do
Yeah, I don't. And again, even that would feel, because that's going to be
with your
how
main,
you end your film, right? Because of when it happened in his life.
With the protagonist being the main person in the film, kind of, unless you somehow do it in some weird third person perspective where you never get his opinion or thoughts on the matter somehow. You know what I mean?
Just stick to glorifying the music, celebrate the musical career, celebrate the accomplishments, and leave it at that. I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, moving on. There's this big company named Disney, and Disney has a lot of different properties. Star Wars and the MCU, and
they know how to make money.
All the Mickey Mouse stuff. Right? Like Disney proper, Disney vanilla is Mickey Mouse and Friends, the princesses, the whatever else. They also have the Pixar films.
There's a few live actions sprinkled in there.
A couple live actions sprinkled in, like Tomorrowland, which you and I both love and don't understand the hate for that film at all.
No, I don't everything about that film was great, including the marketing.
And then Disney also has this one little property that, in my opinion, should be a ticket to print money if done right. And that comes to us in the form of Tron. The Jeff Bridges franchise, we'll just call it the Jeff Bridges franchise. The first one's in the 80s, or is it the end of the 70s? No, it's got to be
when
the
it
80s.
Takes place or when it came out?
When it came out, it's got to be the 80s.
Tron 1 came out in 82.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the 80s is when, it's all computery, right? And the 80s, we didn't really care about computers in the 70s. That's an 80s thing when that starts to happen. And then obviously back in the late 2000s or early 2010s, we had Tron Legacy. Yeah. Tron Legacy was prettier to look at. Just because you can love the original Tron.
Effects had caught up to what the kind of genre.
Yeah, you can love the original Tron inside and out. It has not aged well visually. It's dreadful. It is dreadful to watch. Especially because I didn't grow up watching it. I saw Tron Legacy first, and then I was like, oh, well, what is this all about? And then went to go back, and I really struggled because I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. I struggled to get into the story and really give the film its due because I couldn't get past the visuals.
Yeah, well, so you get we've already talked about Star Wars, so I'm going to use Star Wars as an example. Star Wars comes out in 1977. A New Hope.
Yeah.
This is
5 years later.
5 years later. And the visual effects are comparably bad.
A lot more demanding. Lot more demanding.
Yes, I would, definitely more demanding. They're trying to create a digital looking world.
Yeah.
Using they wouldn't be digital effects. They were probably like drawing on the cells of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were cell painting.
Cell painting. But like, yeah, so it looks nowadays does not look great. It looks like an old school science fiction film. Like when you compare Star Wars as an old school science fiction film, it doesn't hold up, but it still looks good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where this, it doesn't look good. It looks like a bad.
So all of that is to say that Tron 3 is now in production. And as much as I've said that if it's done right, it could be a license to print money, I can't help but wonder, like we talked just recently about Terminator and them potentially doing more Terminator films. And you and I both had the sort of the same consensus of like, maybe it's time that it's done. It's just done.
Give it a rest for 2 decades and then reboot it or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or just do something else. Do a different killer robot thing. You're the king of don't just do something different. Call it something different.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if that's can also be said about Tron. Like, you tried to revive it 15 years ago. I don't think Tron Legacy is trash. I don't. But it wasn't the successful film that Disney wanted it to be.
No. It's not. I don't think the Tron is like franchise worthy either. Like, you're not going to do with Tron what you're doing with the MCU, right? It's not going to be the next.
You could do with Tron what they did with Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it's its own standalone thing that is set in sort of a unique world that has the potential for lots of stories and lots of conflicts to take place.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fascinating thing that they set up. So on top of getting a new Tron film, we have our lead. Our lead role has been cast.
Right.
It's Jared Leto.
Yeah, which probably gets you hyped. Here's the thing. If you look back, Jared Leto has had some stinkers. Every actor has, right? George Clooney. Yep. George Clooney is a fantastic actor. George Clooney was probably the worst Batman we've ever had. Right? Yeah. Like we've every
all
actor
had some
makes
stinkers.
A bad choice in what movies they want to do, or the casting, or
just how it's gonna. Yeah. I maintain if you look at George, if you look at Jared Leto's acting career as a whole, I think he's a pretty good actor. I do. I think that he's capable of doing some really incredible dramatic acting. But what I'm wondering is, could Tron 3 be 3 strikes and you're out for Jared Leto? And I ask this because Tron 3, so following the lack of success of Tron Legacy, right? Not assuming that Tron 3 is going to be bad. I'm not. But I'm acknowledging that it's possible and that there's a spotted track record at this point. There's red in the ledger. And if we look at Jared Leto's recent film history, we have him playing Joker in the first Suicide Squad, which I don't hate as much as everybody else seems to. As a whole, I liked the movie. I thought the villain was garbage. The way they did Enchantress, I did not enjoy. Joker was a very different take on Joker.
Yeah.
But that's what they were going for. They were going for a very different take. And I think in some ways it works. I think from what we've heard, like hashtag release the air cut, a lot, like Jared Leto's performance in that film was completely butchered and gutted in the editing room. Like when that film came out, Jared Leto was literally like, what the shit?
Right.
That was not what I did. But then you also have Morbius. And Morbius is just bad. Like there are very few people who liked Morbius. Yeah. I was very excited for Morbius. I still
have yet to see it. because of the bad press it's got.
It's very rough. And so if Jared Leto stars in Tron 3 and Tron 3 ends up being a total stinker, do you think that could spell certain death for Jared Leto's acting career?
No, I don't think so. I think any actor can come back from any stinker as long as they've got a whiff of talent. Right?
Well, but will they be cast? Are they billable?
Well,
right, you have to be given the chance to come back.
I'm trying to think of a comparison. I'm sure there's got to be a couple comparisons out there that are kind of comparable, where an actor's got a string of duds, but they still make a good go of it, and they come back.
Ryan Reynolds.
There you go. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, let's not forget.
Green
but
Lantern.
I mean, part of that was Ryan Reynolds then being able to be in films where he was able to reference the horrible film, like the fact that in Deadpool he can repeatedly point out the total dumpster fire that was Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, somehow he ended up with Deadpool in a way that he had agency to make decisions try and make the character as authentic to the source material as possible too.
Oh, strictly because Ryan Reynolds is a sex god. I mean, yeah. Come on.
So anyway,
the guy's aged like fine wine.
So as far as Jared Leto, yeah, of course, even if it's a dud, I think there's a way he can make it back. As far as Tron goes, I like Tron, the original. I like Legacy. It was all right. Tron is a pretty unique kind of premise in terms of storylines. Like, we don't get a lot of this kind of storyline in motion pictures where, like, it's kind of like your main character gets sucked into a video game.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of like Ready Player One esqueness to it.
I would say Ready Player One's got a lot of Tron-esqueness.
Oh, yeah, well, for sure. No. I'm not saying obviously Tron came first.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot there, as you had mentioned, there's a lot to play with here in this world, in this universe. They could do a lot with it. But then that begs the question, does it need to? Right?
Well, no, but no film needs to.
With Tron, we get Jeff Bridges' story. He kind of created this world. He ended up getting sucked into it. It's been a long time since I watched it. If memory serves, the game kind of becomes sentient a little bit, and he has to fight to retake it, take ownership of it again from the inside out, essentially. And in the second one, it's his son that gets kind of sucked into the game, and he sees this world his dad spent a lifetime building, and I can't remember the rest of it because, again, it's been a while since I watched it. But yeah, essentially he ends up having to fight for his freedom and safety of the world and the digital world. And yeah, so there's potential there, but if memory serves, the second one ended pretty nicely. Like, why do we need to go back? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say whether this will be successful.
Yeah. Why not people just make a new movie franchise that's kind of got Tron-esque tropes?
Mm-hmm. Because I think at this point, if you're going to make a Tron, I mean, Jeff Bridges is still alive. He's got to show up somehow.
I don't think his character is alive though in Tron.
Oh, yeah, but then it's not actually him. It's a piece of software that, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch both of them to really, I think, definitively say if it's something I want or not, because it's been so long.
Okay, moving on. Scream. Now, you're not a big horror guy.
Oh, you're talking about the movie.
The movie. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about everyone's ears there. You're not a big horror guy.
Nope.
I'm not a huge horror guy, but I'm certainly a bigger horror guy than you and Pete probably combined.
Sure. That's what you call yourself.
What?
Not a huge horror guy? Come on.
No, I mean, there's a lot of horror that just doesn't do it for me. Like I don't have any like horror memorabilia. I'm not like I typically don't go see them in the theaters. Like there's just a lot of, I like very certain specific things in horror. But if there's like six movie options and one of them is horror, I'm not like drawn towards that one.
Right. It's not the first thing you jump to.
No, it is on equal footing as everything else. I'm like, oh, okay. Right. It's an option.
All right.
The trailer for Scream 6. Now, I first watched the Scream movies about a year ago and was blown away by how much I enjoyed them. They were so much fun. And Pete and I are currently working through the Scream movies on our way to Scream 6, which is coming out. And the first trailer's dropped. Now, this was a movie that prior to seeing the trailer, I was excited for because it was Scream. But I was very dubious about, and I was very kind of bummed out because of the news that Neve Campbell will not be returning, sort of our series star up until this point. And she's not returning because basically they just didn't offer her enough money. And she said the offer they gave me, what they're willing to pay me is not consistent with the value that I'm bringing to this franchise. So go screw yourself. Which she has every right to do. And she's probably right. She was the lifehood of this franchise. But I got to tell you, I watched this trailer and not once was I like, but Sydney's not here. We don't have Neve Campbell. This was like Ghostface has his own bat cave with all of these. Somehow he's like tracked down the masks and the suits from all the previous killers, and they're all there in kind of like this shrine, and it's like this really well thought out plotted thing this time around. We see Ghostface grab a shotgun and just like blow a guy away, so he's no longer just using the knife. He's branching out. This is more of a aggressive. It's not a nice clean mask. It's sort of like a scuffed up, dirty, kind of freaky looking mask. I could not be more excited for this film. The trailer did not disappoint. We've talked about many times the purpose of a trailer is to take your excitement level for a film and bump it up. And I was already excited for this film, but I was cautious. I'm no longer cautious. This trailer's done everything that it needs to do to get me where I need to be in level of excitement. And I cannot wait. You saw this trailer. I don't even know if you've seen the Scream films. So start with that and then tell me what your thoughts were on the trailer.
I haven't seen it. I'm not interested.
All right.
Moving on. No. Yeah, so I haven't seen any of the Scream films. I am not interested in seeing Scream films. I watched the trailer. It looked like a Scream film, I guess. Ghost-faced, stabby murder, scary, spookies, jump scares.
I actually think you would thoroughly enjoy them. I mean, Pete enjoys them, and that says something. They're super meta and super self-aware and super like not cheesy in the sense that the Freddy Kruegers and the Jason Voorhees, not like cheesy in that way. Cheesy in like a super self-aware. It's almost
like an Evil Dead way.
Well, it's almost like a parody. Yeah, kind of. It's almost a parody of slasher films. Like, yeah. If you were to take 80s slasher films on one side and like the scary movie franchise on the other side, it kind of falls right in the center. Like there's no flat out jokes. They're never like going for the laugh, but they're also not taking themselves seriously. And it's because like the thing about Ghostface is it's a different person every time. It's not like Freddy Krueger, where Freddy Krueger is Freddy Krueger and he's back and he's terrifying.
Kind of spiritual demon.
Yeah, so throughout each Scream movie, everybody seems to have like it's always someone that has been in the film all along. And so everybody seems to have a motive, and motive change and alibis change. And so you spend it's like a murder mystery. You spend the whole film trying to figure out who the killer is. I honestly think you would enjoy it.
So it's kind of more like Knives Out.
Yeah, it's like Knives Out. It's like a slasher Knives Out. Absolutely. Or like a slasher Murder on the Orient Express.
Well, I don't think I'm still interested.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, yeah.
Cool.
It's cool.
Moving on, and I want to brush right past this topic. I don't want to get into any nitty-gritty. Pete and I talked about this on the show back when it sort of first happened. We're not going to get into any politics of it. We're not going to get into what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened. But it's a big piece of movie news, so it's worth reporting, or at least bringing up. As many of you will remember, a little while ago now, on the set of the new Alec Baldwin film Rust, there was a gun that was being used in a scene that, instead of having a blank in it, had a live round in it. It went off during, I don't even think cameras were rolling. I think it was a rehearsal. I could be wrong. But it went off as they were like blocking out the scene.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't make a difference whether it was an actual shot.
One person got injured and another person got fatally injured.
Yeah.
And things have kind of been in limbo. So obviously production halted. Production is moving again now. And actually the husband...
They're looking to finish it. And apparently the husband of the woman who died is now on board as...
He's like a producer now.
A producer or something, helping to finish it, which seems odd, but...
in memory... Right? It was his wife's last piece of work. It was her last,
I don't know.
Whatever. I don't know.
Anyway.
So now, along with one other person, Alec Baldwin has been charged with manslaughter.
Yeah. The other person is the armorer, the person in charge of making sure all the guns are being used and stored and treated safely. Training everybody with them.
And that's literally the details that we have. Alec Baldwin's been charged with manslaughter. There will be, it seems like this is something that he's going to fight. And so there will be a trial. And so this doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean he's going to get convicted. It doesn't mean any of these things. It just means that charges have been laid. We don't even know whether he was charged with manslaughter because he was the actor holding the gun, or if he was charged with manslaughter because he was the executive producer on the film and it ended up being an unsafe.
So if I'm not mistaken, he's charged with second-degree manslaughter, it's
involuntary
being unintentionally killing someone.
Yeah, so involuntary manslaughter. So so you've got murder, which is I planned on killing this person and that's what I did. You've got voluntary manslaughter, which is I didn't plan to kill Carl, but he broke my favorite Ghostbusters collector cup.
And in a fit of rage.
In a fit of rage, I picked up
intentionally killed him.
His Xbox controller and I bashed his friggin' brains in. Then there's involuntary manslaughter, which is what this is, where I didn't plan to kill him. I never had any intent to cause him bodily harm. But through an act of negligence, which is what, like the thing is, what they're saying, what film protocol is that the actor is also supposed to inspect the gun, not just the armor, but the
gun
actor
safety
is
in
also
general.
supposed to.
If somebody hands you a weapon, you check it.
Well, okay, but now we're getting into politics and stuff like that.
That's not politics. That's gun safety 101.
It's okay, but regardless,
like I grew up around guns. Like
right.
I shot my first gun when I was probably 7, maybe 6.
Right.
All right. Like low caliber, no kick to it, but still, right? So I grew up around guns my whole life. And I would say that that statement is not political. It is just plain gun safety. When somebody hands you a weapon, you check to see if it's loaded. And in this case, on a set stage like that, you would check the ammunition to make sure they're blanks.
Sure. Quite, yeah. So that's the news about that. He's been charged with manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. It sounds like he's going to fight it, and that means there's going to be a trial. And we'll just kind of have to watch closely and see how this plays out, what ends up happening. And you know what? It's no matter what your position is on the events, it's just a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Like it's just
it's not a good
awful
thing. I think he's going to have a tough go fighting it. Because I heard that there was live ammunition found in multiple places on the set, including on Alec Baldwin. So that makes it a hard go.
Okay, but we don't know that. And I want to avoid that because we don't know that that's fact. And so moving on. Our final piece of news. So Warner Brothers. Let's talk about Warner Brothers for a change. Warner Brothers and the DCEU. One of the things that we've known for a very long time now is that James Gunn and Peter Safran are rebooting the DCU, and that all of the actors that we had playing the roles that they were playing seemingly are no longer playing those roles. Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill and Black Adam, but that's maybe for reasons not just because of the reboot, but also because the film was a financial bust. But either way, Jason Momoa just recently got out of a meeting with James Gunn, and we don't have any details yet. Like, we've been sitting and waiting, and we've heard that in January we're going to get a partial announcement of the casting and the lineup, and we don't have a lot of January left. So like any minute now, literally any minute now, by the time you're listening to this announcement could be out of who's playing who and what the plan is and so on and so forth.
We'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week. But Jason Momoa did get out of a meeting, a DC meeting, and he tweeted about it, a little video, and he was ecstatic. He was like screaming with excitement and had a ear to ear grin, and he just could not have been happier. We don't know why.
Batman.
Obviously,
Superman. He's gonna play Wonder Woman.
I think it's Lobo. I honestly, there's people out there, annoyingly but expectedly, who have jumped on the internet and are going, "What? It doesn't make sense that you're going to keep him as Aquaman." And nobody has said that. Yeah. Nobody has said that. And,
he's most definitely
I would put
not
$100.
Aquaman.
I would put $100 on it and say
I would put would put my house on it. I'm very confident. Like, that's a really easy bet in my mind.
Well, things are getting interesting here now. So if he is, I'll give you $100 and you give me your house. I'll take this deal. I'll buy your house for $100.
If he is Aquaman?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give up the $100.
Sign over the deed to my house.
And
Well, it's a good thing my deed has got in 2 names and I can't really sign it over.
I never got my glass bottle of eggnog, so you're not to be...
You know what? I don't even know where to buy a glass bottle of eggnog around Hanover, so I looked.
You have no honor when it comes to bets. You did not look.
There's nowhere in Hanover has glass bottles of eggnog.
All right. Anyways, I think it's...
I'll give you $20.
Lobo.
You can buy some of your own.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's got to be Lobo. That's my guess. I mean, you look at him and he looks like he was born to play Lobo. And we know that Jason Momoa is a Lobo fan. We know that that's a role that he's been interested in for a while. So I would be surprised if it's not Lobo. I definitely don't think it's Batman. I would be...
He would have to cut his hair, and I don't know if
it'd be a really weird casting decision. It'd be a really weird casting decision. Not because I don't think Jason Momoa couldn't do it. I think he could play Batman, certainly. But I don't think you go from having the guy play Aquaman to having him play Batman. You know, if you're going to keep him around, you got to go with more of an auxiliary character like Lobo. So, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Does Lobo track?
Lobo sounds good. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's going to be one of the lead Justice League characters.
Justice League characters, no. He
could be... There's a few villains he could probably fit the role of really well, too.
Dick Grayson. He could be Robin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just had a crazy thought as we were thinking about this. This is a little off topic. It's in the DCU topic zone, but off Jason Momoa. I just had a thought because James Gunn's kind of known for, as most directors are, having actors he likes working with and plugging them into the job, the things.
Every director does that.
So now he's not a director, but he's in charge of casting for this whole universe. So,
and he tweeted the other day saying, because somebody tweeted to James Gunn and was like, please don't bring over actors from the MCU into the DCU.
Oh, he's totally
like, just find a new cast, blah, blah, blah. And James Gunn tweeted back and said, look, we have hundreds of roles to cast. Some of the people we cast are going to be people I've worked with before. People I know that I work well with. Some of them are going to be people who I haven't worked with before. There's hundreds of roles to cast. It's just the way it is.
Picture this. Dave Bautista as Lex Luthor. I think that would be really cool. Lex Luthor has been shown in cartoons before as being kind of a looked after himself kind of beefy guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say I can't see it. I'm just going to say I don't know if he gives me the intellectual Lex Luthor vibes that I would be looking for.
I don't know. Have you seen the trailers for that new
Knock at the Cabin?
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, but that's still not like super genius vibes.
I don't know, man. I think he could pull it off. I think he's got the chops for it.
Oh, I think he could pull it off as well too. I think he's of the wrestlers that we've seen make the wrestling to acting switch. I think he's the best actor.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week. Yeah,
not the most successful, right? Obviously, the most successful is The Rock. Yeah, but The Rock's not an amazing actor.
Yeah,
right? The Rock's never.
No, I agree.
He's never bringing home an Oscar.
Yeah, we talked. And we talked about that last week. I think Dave. We're in agreement. Dave Bautista could pull it off, but you, for some reason, have some hesitancy.
Yeah, I can just think of. I think he could pull it off, but I think I could probably easily come up with 20 people who I'd prefer instead. Is I think where I'm at.
You know what we should do? We should
play Xbox tonight. What?
No, I'm going snowboarding. Okay. So next week we'll probably have this James Gunn casting list.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be a long episode next week, ladies and gentlemen.
We should try and, before we see the list, we should come up with our own list.
Ooh. Yeah.
And compare.
Write it down, put it in an envelope.
Yeah.
Like dream casting? Are we going to do dream casting?
Yeah. So like
for which characters?
Let's like go
Cyborg?
The main JLA that we got from the last iteration of DCU.
So the big three, for sure.
Plus their opposites, their main villains. So like Batman, Joker, Superman, Luthor, Wonder Woman. I don't know. Would you go Ares? I guess.
I guess, but yeah.
Or I guess
then that's
Wonder
about
Woman,
as far as you need to go though with villains, right? Like I'm not gonna be like, oh well, who is Cyborg typically up against? Although no, see, I would do like I'll do a dream casting for Green Lantern and then Sinestro.
Yeah,
like Sinestro, I would cast, but there's just some characters that you don't need. Like Flash, and who would I have play Reverse Flash? Yeah, okay,
or Mr. Cold. Not Mr. Cold. What's his name?
Captain Cold.
Captain Cold. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you and I will come up with a list of characters, and then before we reconvene next week, we will we'll come up with our dream castings
before we look at the gun news.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, by the time we announce our dream castings on the podcast, we will have seen the gun news because
but we'll come up with our dream casting before the gun news.
I'll come up with it tonight while you're wiping out on the slopes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet.
Send me the list of people, like the characters you cast, not the actors.
Yeah. I'll do that. Okay, well, that's the news. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all below, our merch page. Check out our Patreon. We are upping our Patreon content. So Pete and I just yesterday or something recorded an episode. I've got like crazy insomnia. So I've been up since so right now it's 1:15 in the afternoon. I've been up since about 5:30 yesterday evening. So I don't have today's and tomorrow's, and that's all gone now. But we just recorded like an hour-long bonus episode where we're just chatting, shooting the shit. Carl doesn't know it yet, but Carl and I have an upcoming Patreon bonus episode where a little while back, Pete and I did, like, we asked each other 40 questions or 50 questions or something. We have one coming up with Carl answering all those questions. So surprise. So there's just lots and lots of good content on Patreon from the Movie Men podcast that you can only get if you're signed up for our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Now you can spend more, and the you get more perks and more stuff, and it gets better and better and better. But you can gain access to like so much for literally only $1 a month. So it's definitely worth checking out. It helps support our show. It gives you something in return. It's totally worth it. It's a super, super, super sick deal. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to do this casting thing.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Really exciting. I'm going to put like a lot of thought into this. Like a lot of thought. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is Batman for sure. I think some of these will be hard for me because like I'll have a face but I won't remember the name. Yeah, they're going to be hard
Or
for
it'll
me
be
because I
someone
want to
like
dig deep.
Cyborg, and it'll be like, oh, I want this person. Ah, they're too old. Cyborg should be young.
Yeah, Sam Jackson can't play Cyborg.
Yeah. Like Idris Elba can't play Cyborg. Ah, I got to get
No.
somebody, even somebody like, Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. He's too old in my opinion. Like you got to have almost like a teenager because that's how you do your spin-off to the Teen Titans, right? You need those young guys. And
Like what's his face? Who played young Lando in Solo? What is his name?
oh, even he's too old now. The guy from Community.
Yeah,
Even he would be too old in my opinion.
Okay, all right. Well, this will be
Like you need
this'll
like
be-
early 20s max.
All right. We'll see where this goes.
I don't know. That's my personal opinion though. So finding that kind of early 20s actor to fill a role like that would be hard.
Well, as per usual, your personal opinion is the only thing that matters to me.
Absolutely.